Hello guys and welcome back to another Valheim guide. Now recently we did produce this chicken breeder and automated farm that would slaughter them so that you get unlimited chicken, feathers and eggs while you're nearby. Unfortunately, with the most recent patch notes, the eggs are now laid beneath the chicken, so the eggs do not get pushed out of the wall and thus the eggs do not fall down into the area to be collected or incubated to go to the slaughter section. But do not worry, because this has actually allowed me to go over this and go over some of the comments that you've posted previously about not being able to feed the hens or the hens jumping out of the hutch when they're chicks. I've fixed all of that and I've made it much easier to follow. In fact, I'd go as far as to say this is the most efficient breeder, though I haven't decorated it, and the easiest one to build. The first thing that we're going to want to do is to place down the large wooden walls. We're going to stack these 6 high, and we're going to do this in a cube or small box. And then along the sides, we're also going to run the log poles, the large 4-meter ones. So this is going to be 12 meters high. And at this point, you may want to reinforce this using some wood iron poles like I'm doing on the inside of one of the corners here. And then at the top, we've got a wood iron beam across the width of this build. Next, and probably the most important part of this, we're going to use the round logs widthwise across the top. So we're going to place them on both sides opposing each other so that we have 2 log poles horizontally on each of the corners facing outwards. At this point, you want to fill the empty space with flooring for us to work along. We're going to place a wood wall half along one of the sides, followed by a 2-meter wood pole along each of its sides. At this point, you're also going to want to place an inverted 45-degree wood wall on each of these 2 wooden pole joints so that they're facing down to the opposite section. You're then going to place a 45-degree roof in line with this wall piece, and you're going to cover the top with a flat floor. You can then add a large wall on the back and enclose the rest of it with a half wood wall, and we're going to repeat this on the other side as well, and we're going to place in the center a fine wood decoration piece. We're going to use that to throw the eggs at to make sure that they hit the centerpiece. At this point, you can throw the eggs at the wooden decoration pieces. If they hit the wooden decoration piece, they will fall in the center. And once you've got both eggs in both of the hatches, you can delete this wooden decoration piece. And we're going to place a 45 cross roof over both sections. This is super important because it's going to stop the chicks from jumping out. Just make sure that the eggs are in the center, because if they're on the outside, you may have the chicks jump outside of the build. Once you've covered the hutch areas with the 45 cross roofs, we can build up a stone section to place a fire on top of so that we can warm the eggs up. I recommend checking the eggs at this point just to make sure they're warm, and you can go to sleep. After 1 to 2 nights, generally speaking, you'll have chicks, and then the following night you'll have hens. Currently, for some reason, we've had the hens early, but you can see how they've kept in their hutch. I've not had any leave me thanks to this new build style. Now that the chickens are hatched, we're going to remove the roofs, then we're going to jump onto the wall and delete the flooring below the chickens. The chickens will then fall down onto the 45-degree roof and they will slide to the bottom. If they don't land in the center, don't worry, we're going to sort that out in a little bit. You're not going to need to jump in and try and push them around. There's a really simple way of doing this. And then from here, we're going to go underneath the build and we're going to remove the 2 round log poles that are against the roof section. So we're going to remove them. Don't worry, the chickens will not fall out. You can see here that we have our 4 chickens all in here. And what we're going to do at this point is we're going to grab our door and we're going to place this on the front of both of these. And from here, we're going to place down just use dev commands for this. On the furthest point, these small beams. This is really important, as you'll see, because we can now delete the doorways and replace whichever kind of rooftop that you want just against the edge here. And what this does is give us this tiny section here for our food to slide down. However, we need it to land in the middle, which we'll get to in a moment. We can remove these small beams. At this point, we can place our wood wall just on the end here. And we can do the same here. And at this point, we're going to grab these wood shutters. So this build is going to use bronze nails. And we're going to place these on the outside like so. And then we're going to shut them. And you'll notice that this produces a kind of funnel so that the seeds will slide down the center. We're going to do the same on this side. The only downside to this is you have to make sure that you're shutting it from the outside in order to get that positioning. We're also going to use some more shutters. The spot that you want is to place it against the back wall, and then underneath, going to have to get on top of here for this. We're going to place it facing in, and we're going to do the same on the section below as well. And the reason for that is that it stops the chickens from heading back up the side. And then from here, we're going to turn this. Actually, we don't even need to turn it. We're just going to place this on the end. And we're going to do the same here. And we're going to close these. And what this does is it forces the chickens into one side. We're going to close it this side, and you'll see both of them are now stuck in the middle. Let's repeat that on this side. And from here, I'm going to cover this section with a walkway. You'll need to place 2 sections of flooring here just to give you enough space to throw this. But from here, you can grab your seeds and just chuck it in. You'll notice how it goes to the center, and soon we'll have those chickens just munching on those seeds. We'll do the same here. Let it work its magic, and we'll soon see that the chickens are eating. You can get rid of this. You can see they're happy, and they're starting to get into a position to mate, and the same with these ones as well. So that is how you create a breeder that works 100% of the time, and how you can also ensure that your food is fed to them. But now let's check whether the eggs are going beneath. That is the most important thing here. As you can see, the system is working as desired and producing the eggs. Now we can either just wait and collect the eggs, or we can do as we did over there, which is set up a culling station on one side using flame. You can check out the video, I'll link it above, so that you can see how we've done that, and I'll show you how I've implemented that into this later on. But the other question that was quite frequently asked was, how would I defend this against bats and other kinds of raids? Well, you could cage this in using iron, but raids are only triggered if there's 3 or more base structures in a given area. And I would build this slightly further away from my base, and then just get rid of any of the base structures. So that's things like the crafting bench, the stone cutter here, and the forge. And it does also include, I believe, campfires and possibly chests. So I'll get rid of the chests. And then all we'd need is one campfire in order to set up a culling station, and we're good to go. This will not be attacked by any raid events. So you don't need to worry about that. But the only thing left to do now is for me to decorate this. If you did find this video helpful, if you think it's the easiest way to build this, do let me know in the comments below. I certainly have not figured out any way that's easier than this, and the shutters are so helpful in both positioning the food but also the chickens so that they are in the right spot for collecting the food. As you can see here, we've done a little bit of decoration. I've just added a hutch area for the eggs to fall and then the slaughter section that we did last time. Again, if you do want to understand the logic behind the system that we've got here for the slaughter section, do check out my previous video on the chicken farm. That'll break it down for you so we don't have to repeat it here. I am really happy with the decoration. It's just something very simple and minimalist, something that anyone can do just by giving a roof around the top and then a border around the side, and then we have a teleport to get us to the top so that we can feed the chickens. But there we are, guys, a super easy chicken breeder with the new patch that's 100%, or at least been 100% effective every time I've done it. And you'll have no more problems with your feeding. You'll have no more problems with them escaping early as well. If you guys did find it helpful, please do hit the thumbs up and let me know what you'd like me to cover in the next video. Until next time, special thanks does go to all of our amazing supporters, most notably our Solarclipse patrons, James Irwin, Fireflesh, Trebor, and Beowulf, as well as our Lunars, the Calamity Ben, Star, Shoku the MN Wolf, and that dude AW, as well as our Blood Moon of the Day, which today is Dashlum. Until next time, as always, ciao for now.